is 6. The number 6. And Willie Apple said that there was a hymn called St. John the Baptist, and then there was a poem that he relayed to Joey, which said, quote, "Sweeter sounds than music knows. Charm me in Emmanuel's name. For all her hopes my spirit owes to his birth and cross and shame." That music and spirituality was intimately connected. And Joey began to search for the truth about music and the ancient musical scale, the solfeggio, that was hidden. And in this search, he began again going through the Bible. And when he searched through Psalms 120 through 134, he found that there were these songs of degrees. Song of degree of David, song of degrees of Solomon, and just songs of degrees. And when he laid it out, it looked to him like it was a musical scale. It was like in octaves. And he began then to pray to his beloved Yeshua. His beloved, he called him Jeshua, because he felt that he was getting close. But his prayer was intense. He said, "Please, Jeshua, show me my next step." And then one night, Joey was sleeping, or so he thought. And in the middle of a dream, he thought, his beloved Jeshua came to him, to his bedside, in front of his bed, and next to Jeshua was a huge angel. And the angel held a Bible. And the Bible, the face of it was covered with all fuzz. And smiling Yeshua and the angel said to Joey, "We've come, brother, for your work. And we want to help you, but you've got to answer some questions before we can help you." So they asked Joey a few very, very simple questions. And each time he answered a question correctly, a little bit of the fuzz over the Bible started to clear. So Joey says, wait a minute. Is this really happening to me? Am I dreaming or am I awake? So to test, he opened his eyes, and his beloved Jeshua and the angel were still there. So he closes his eyes, and they were still there. It didn't matter. So he answered the final few questions that the angel asked him correctly. And suddenly all the haze in the Bible cleared, and he was instructed directly into the book of Numbers, chapter 7, verses 12 through 83, wherein the codes that we reveal lie. Codes that are literally related to creation, destruction, and miracles. Joey was first led to chapter 7, verse 12, because that was the first day or the first tome. And that if you look at the book of Numbers, chapter 7, verse 12, where it says, quote, "And he offered for his offering the first day was Nahshon, the son of Amminadab of the tribe of Judah." And you count 6 verses down from there, you suddenly see the second day. 6 verses down from there, you see the third day. 6 verses down from there, you see the fourth day. And again, 5th and 6th are 6 verses down. And then when you read between those 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th day, the verses, you begin to become startled. Let me read you verse 13. It says, quote, "And his offering was 1 silver charger, the weight thereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. Both of them were full of fine flour, mingled with oil, for a meat offering." End quote. Did you get that? What was that? I didn't quite get that. Let me just read that again. Both of them were full of fine flour, mingled with oil, for a meat offering? Well, that just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense now. It won't make any sense in the future. And even if you've taken into consideration that King James and others who wrote subsequent Bibles from the Torah translations changed certain words, and the meat was originally field or grain or meal offering, it still doesn't make a great deal of sense or relevance. In a magnificent, inspired book where God doesn't pull any punches, he tells you straight out what his laws are. He gives you stories to exemplify the laws. He tells you, if you don't follow these laws, you sin, you're going to have some problems. Suddenly you read this, and that's not the problem. The problem is that 6 verses down from verse 13, the same verse appears. That is, 13 plus 6 is 19. 19 verse reads as follows, quote, he offered for his offering 1 silver charger, the weight thereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. Both of them were full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a meat offering, end quote. 6 verses down from there, it repeats. 6 verses down from there, it repeats again. 6 verses down from there. In fact, throughout the entire chapter 7 of the book of Numbers, that verse repeats every 6 verses. How about verse 14, the next verse? Quote, 1 spoon of 10 shekels of gold full of incense, end quote. Well, it doesn't make too much sense, but look, 6 verses down from 14 is verse 20. 1 spoon of gold of 10 shekels full of incense. 6 verses down from there, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense. Same thing, repeats. In fact, when you read the chapter 7 of the book of Numbers, in fact, you see exactly what I'm saying to you is true. Here you see that Joey began to realize that there was something sacred about these numbers. And when he began to use the Pythagorean mathematics on them, for example, verse 12 is 1 plus 2 is 3. 6 verses down, that was the first day. Down from verse 12 is verse 18. The second day, 8 plus 1 is 9. 6 verses down from there is 24. The third day, 2 plus 4 is 6. 396, 396, 396, 396 goes throughout the chapter. Suddenly, Joey realized that that was likely the first tone of the ancient musical scale of the Solfeggio. Chapter 13, verse 13, 3 plus 1 is 4. 6 verses down, when that verse that I just spoke reappears, is 19. 9 plus 1 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1. 6 verses down is verse 25. It repeats again. 2 plus 5 is 7. 417. 417. 417 repeats throughout the entire chapter. The third verse down, which I also read, verse 14. 4 plus 1 is 5. Where that repeats again is verse 20. 2 plus 0 is 2. Verse 26, 2 plus 6 is 8. 26 and 6 is 32. Verse 32, 3 plus 2 is 5.